Hello everyone, welcome back to the John Owen Movie Channel, all things movies all the time. And today's video is going to be Ultimate Star Wars Video Part 4, and it's going to be about the new two sequel movies, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. And good, bad, overall ranking, we're not going to waste any time. Here we go. So the goods, I had to switch it up to the BB-8 thumbs up because it'd be a crime if I didn't. So one really good thing that the sequel trilogy has done is they have given us a new cast of likable characters. Rey and Finn and Poe, being our main heroes. And, oh, hi, Angus. Oh, hey, look. Look who it is, everybody. It's Angus, the puppy dog. He's a good boy. Anyways, Angus, don't start. Don't start with me. Don't do it. Okay. Anyways, but out of these three, and out of all of the new heroes, Finn is definitely my favorite. As a former stormtrooper, it's okay. As a former stormtrooper, he has a very, very, very interesting backstory. It's something new. It's something different. So, and he's likable. He's charismatic. He's funny. I really like him. My favorite new character they've introduced is by far Kylo Ren. Outside of his really beautiful, awesome, menacing look, I really just like his character dynamic, the internal conflict he struggles with throughout the two movies so far. Is he light? Is he dark? What is he? He's trying to find his identity. And, I think a lot of people can identify and relate to that, just trying to find, Angus, come here, please. Okay. Just trying to find your way in life, trying to just find your role. And his mask is really cool, and his lightsaber is really awesome. So his look and his character dynamic, it makes for a really interesting character that I genuinely enjoy watching on screen because he keeps you engaged in the story. He keeps you on his toes. On your toes. He's on his toes, but whatever. And the old characters, they throw in, Han and Luke and Leia and Chewie and CP3O and R2. They're all back. And I think that, Han in The Force Awakens is probably, the best way they've implemented, the old characters, kind of that role model for Rey and Finn. And, it's been really good. And, I really like Han Solo, period, anyways. But, having him in The Force Awakens, and he serves a great role, and his death is super emotional and stuff like that. So, he was great. Oh, thank you, Angus. Thank you. Oh, good boy. Okay. There's been some really great moments in these movies, too, whenever Kylo turns on Supreme Leader Snoke and slices him in half, and then the ensuing battle with Rey and Kylo versus the Knights. This was a really awesome, beautiful sequence that I really enjoyed. Angus, what are you barking at? Shh. Anyways, the battle on Crate was really beautiful. I thought it was gonna be kind of a Hoth knockoff, but it actually ended up being, different enough to where I enjoyed it. And the best thing that these movies have done so far is definitely character dynamics. The relationships between characters has been beautiful. Hey, and the most interesting one to me has been Kylo and Rey's because, they are connected somehow, and I'm sure that The Rise of Skywalker will complete this connection that they have. Angus! I'm trying to make sure he doesn't jump off my bed. He's not supposed to do that. Angus, don't do it. Hold on. Come over here. Hey! Okay, we're back. Sorry, everyone. And, really, they've been very interesting because, they've been, they feed off of each other in the two movies or whatever. Hey, seriously. Okay, thank you. Okay, and, they've been really interesting to watch with each other. Rey and Finn have an absolutely beautiful friendship. That's probably my favorite part about The Force Awakens is just watching them two on screen. They have such great chemistry with one another. It's just really fun to watch them work together.
And a big contingency point of these two movies is how Luke Skywalker has been handled. It's definitely not how I would have done it, or how I would have liked, or how I thought they were going to do it. But like him being old and grumpy, it's weird because he was the most optimistic man in the galaxy. But after he loses the entire Jedi Academy and stuff like that, like I understand it. I totally understand it. And, the scene where the Jedi temple is burning and Yoda, the Force Ghost, comes up because Luke's lost all hope and he's like, failure the greatest teacher is. That scene was really beautiful and it hit home really good. And then they kind of they kind of fixed Luke being kind of grumpy and old and, not being around by, him as the Force Ghost fighting Kylo Ren, making it look real that was super. God, he jumped off my bed. Angus, no, you're not supposed to do that. It was okay. He just fell on the couch. It's fine. Anyways, and Luke, and then he dies, and it was good. It was a good way to send off and show that he's the greatest to ever do it. Period. And now the downs, however, the movies are they seem very, very disconnected plot wise. Everything The Force Awakens started, The Last Jedi just came in and cut it down. That's what happens when you have two different directors. That's expected. And then everything that The Last Jedi started, it was not as interesting as everything The Force Awakens started. So, you have two disconnected movies, and, it's just, they just don't gel. And neither one of these movies is flawless, so I'm going to go over, the flaws of each movie kind of individually first. So, I don't really have much wrong with The Force Awakens. Yes, you could say it is basically a rehash of A New Hope, but, it was they mixed it up enough, and it was different enough, so I was fine with it. My biggest complaint with this movie, and basically these two movies as a whole, but it's really bad in this movie, is just how easily Rey learns everything. Like, Rey should not just be able, after one interrogation with Kylo Ren, be able to master the mind trick. She shouldn't just instantly have all these Force powers. And I don't mind, the problem, my problem with Rey is not her being powerful or her learning the Force powers within a movie. That is not the issue. But she had no training. She just learned it, and that doesn't make sense. Rey should not be able to beat Kylo Ren in a lightsaber battle. I don't care how unexperienced Kylo Ren is in lightsaber on lightsaber battle. It doesn't matter. Okay? Rey should not be able to just garner in enough force to where she can just beat Kylo Ren pretty handily. He just walked under my bed. I see him. Okay. And that doesn't make sense to me. That's the most mind-boggling aspect. There's no training. At least Luke had Obi-Wan, and so whenever Luke let the Force in when he hit the shot to blow up the Death Star, that made sense. So I was cool with that. Just Rey being able to automatically learn all these Force powers does not make sense at all. And I talked about how much I absolutely love Rey and Finn's friendship in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Canceled. They completely discard it. They throw it in the trash. They just throw it away. And that's not cool. And The Last Jedi is where I have a lot of the problems with these two movies. Rey and Finn's relationship being they don't even talk to each other in this movie. That doesn't make sense. They make Poe this gigantic a-hole, man. For no reason. Poe is super nice and friendly, and it just didn't make sense. They did a complete 180 on his character, and all the new side characters that they chose to focus on instead of our big three: Rey, Finn, Poe. Them. Like we didn't need Rose and Finn's adventure to Canto Bight. Admiral Haldo, the purple-haired lady, I don't even know how you say her name. Like, she does not need to exist. Period. Her plan didn't make sense. She was dumb. And she took focus away from people that we actually cared about. No one likes this lady. DJ, I don't know, like, the whole story of this movie really is kind of convoluted. And it doesn't really go anywhere. And I think, it's kind of stagnant. I think, these three are the biggest contributors to that. And Rose, man, like, she doesn't have a wall. She's annoying. And, my biggest...
No, and just like The Last Jedi, like, it just, like I said, it kind of cut down everything The Force Awakens did good. And just try to go in a completely different direction. So I appreciate the risk. No, I'll talk about that in the rankings. And Rey by herself, to me, she doesn't have like just a lot of personality. And to me, she is one of the more uninteresting characters in the new movies. And that's bad because she's your lead. Like, she's supposed to be the guy. And, she's just kind of there. She's just kind of floating. She doesn't have a lot of personality. It's not bad. She's just kind of bland. I don't know. That kind of rubs me the wrong way. And I cannot forgive The Last Jedi for them completely shafting Finn. Period. So overall, much like the prequels, it's a mixed bag for sure. You gotta take the good without the bad. The good with the bad. And, in The Force Awakens, you have the huge flaw of just Rey being able to instantly learn all these Force powers. And in The Last Jedi, you have a convoluted story with focus on some characters that we don't care about. But on the flip side, you have some really great things. Rey and Finn when they're together, this fight scene, Kylo Ren, the fights, the action, like the dog fights and these huge battles have been really entertaining. So you just have to take the good with the bad. You just got to roll with it. So, rankings. All right, at number 2, we had The Last Jedi. This movie took a lot of risk. They tried to subvert our expectations, but they just went overboard with it, man. Like, when you're a sequel, you shouldn't try to completely flip the script on everything the movie before you had. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And I think that the director of this movie, Rian Johnson, and the director of Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams, kind of had, not beef, but, Rian Johnson was just kind of trying to stick it to him. He kind of went over there and destroyed a sandcastle for no reason. And, this movie does have a lot of high moments. There are some really great things that happen in this movie. But its flaws are just, really, really bad. And it's not good. And at number 1, we definitely have Force Awakens. This is basically a rehash of A New Hope, but, I'm fine with that. And Rey learning all the new Force powers, really doesn't make a lot of sense. But, everything else besides Rey just being able to instantly pick up the Force powers. And I think we're going to get an explanation of that in Rise of Skywalker. And if we do that, then in context, then it won't be a flaw, and then this will be a great movie, and then I can move on with my life. But if they don't do that, I still really enjoy this movie. This movie is enjoyable. It's funny. The humor lands. I really like the way they introduced the new characters and everything like that. So, Force Awakens is the way to go. So, thank you for watching my Ultimate Star Wars video part 4. And part 5, which will be a Rise of Skywalker preview, will drop Friday. Thank you for watching my video, and please come back.